The Detroit Lions just surprised everyone with a decision that promises to completely change the dynamics of the team's offense and is generating a lot of conversation among fans. Dan Campbell finally opened up about how he intends to divide the workload between Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and what he said has left fans intrigued, because while Gibbs has been the engine of the offense in recent weeks, Montgomery remains one of the most respected players on the roster. But now, the coach has revealed that this difference in participation is no coincidence, and that something big is about to change in the Lions' backfield. Before I tell you what Campbell really intends to do, like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and activate the bell, because there are a lot of hot updates coming about the Detroit Lions. And it doesn't stop there. We'll talk about Quincy Williams, who could wear the Detroit Lions blue jersey. You'll be informed about all of this today. During the first 6 weeks of the season, the numbers were eye-catching. Gibbs carried the ball 17 times in the last game, while Montgomery only had 4. In total, the young running back participated in 62% of the offensive snaps, 230 plays with him on the field, compared to just 39% for Montgomery with 143 snaps. This difference raised many questions among fans and analysts, especially since Montgomery is known for his strength, consistency, and ability to keep the running game balanced. But according to Dan Campbell, there's a clear explanation for this disparity, and it's directly linked to how the Lions are structuring the offense in 2-minute situations. Gibbs, with his explosiveness and agility, is the primary option in these pressure moments, which automatically results in him accumulating more snaps than the veteran. Campbell was quite direct when speaking about this. We don't want to overwork either of them, but right now, the game is leaning a little more toward Jaw. He ends up getting more reps in 2-minute situations, and that can skew the total count, the coach said. The coach also emphasized that the plan isn't to overwork Gibbs, but rather to better utilize each player's style as the game unfolds. And this is precisely where the most interesting point comes in. Dan Campbell wants to change the way the Lions utilize their running backs, creating a more strategic balance between power and speed. This means Montgomery should start to gain ground again in the coming games, and fans can expect a much more dynamic rotation than in recent weeks. Campbell's idea is clear. He wants to build an unpredictable offense where each running back can exploit the opposing defense's weak spots. Gibbs is the guy with speed, explosive plays, and quick yardage gains. Montgomery, on the other hand, is the symbol of resilience, the player who holds down short drives, who pushes forward even under pressure. And when these two styles alternate in a balanced way, the Lions' offense becomes extremely difficult to contain. I'd like to balance it out. I'd like to give David a little more, Campbell revealed, showing that there are concrete plans to adjust the load in the coming games. He even explained that in the last game, the idea was to use Montgomery more in the second half, but the game's progression, with missed conversions and difficult fourth downs, ended up changing the entire script. And what does all this mean in practice? It means the Lions are about to test a new offensive format, possibly much more versatile and unpredictable. Gibbs should continue to be the standout on fast-paced plays, while Montgomery tends to regain prominence in clock control drives. This combination could transform Detroit's offense into one of the most balanced in the NFL. Campbell's message is clear. He wants to keep both running backs fresh, productive, and ready to decide games. The question now is, will this division actually work as he hopes? And I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Dan Campbell should give David Montgomery more space, or does Gibbs deserve to continue leading this explosive Detroit Lions offense? Leave your opinion in the comments, because this discussion will be fruitful. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, because in the next few hours there may be new updates about the adjustments the team will make for the next round. Let's move on to the next update. Stay until the end to understand all the details.
The Detroit Lions have just been thrust into the center of a potential NFL trade bombshell, and the news has Detroit fans on high alert. Sources indicate the team may be among the top contenders for a trade for New York Jets star linebacker Quincy Williams, a move that could completely change the course of the Lions' defense this season. And most impressively, this deal makes perfect sense given the current league landscape. Before we get into the details and what this could mean for the franchise's future, leave a like below. This is also already dominating many conversations among Jets and Lions fans. The New York Jets are living a true nightmare. The team has the worst record in the NFL, 0-6, after another devastating loss to the Denver Broncos in Week 6. The offense has been completely dominated. The team is in a meltdown, and the mood behind the scenes is one of utter frustration. This losing streak has paved the way for something that seemed inevitable, a complete rebuild, with the front office willing to listen to offers for key players. And among these names, Quincy Williams emerges as one of the most attractive and valuable assets. According to NFL Spin Zone journalist Sarah Bettinger, the 28-year-old linebacker could become a strategic bargaining chip for the Jets, and it was precisely in this context that the Detroit Lions emerged as one of the most likely suitors. According to Bettinger, Williams perfectly fits the profile Dan Campbell's team is looking for right now. An aggressive, physical player with leadership skills who can provide the kind of immediate impact Detroit's defense needs. And there's one factor that makes it even more interesting. Quincy Williams' contract is about to expire, meaning the Jets could trade him now to avoid losing him for free at the end of the season. And here's the point that excites Lions fans. The cost-benefit of this trade could be very affordable. Williams is recovering from an injury, but he's expected to return to the field soon. If he returns with the same level of production he's been showing, his market value could skyrocket before the trade deadline. In other words, if Brad Holmes wants to act, the time is now. The Lions have draft capital, roster space, and most importantly, a team that's in win-now mode, ready to compete and pursue a conference title. The Lions' defense has been a focus this season. While the offense of Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs has maintained an impressive pace, the defensive end still lacks depth and consistency. After the departure of both defensive coordinators last offseason, the system has revealed gaps that stronger opponents are beginning to exploit. And that's where Quincy Williams becomes a tailor-made solution. He's a linebacker who combines speed, strength, and instinct, the kind of player who can transform the middle of the defense and give Aiden Hutchinson and the front seven more freedom to do what they do best, pressure the opposing quarterback. Sources close to the league believe that if Williams proves to be 100% healthy, the market will heat up and the Lions could face stiff competition from teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and even the Chiefs, who are also looking to strengthen their defense. But Detroit has a significant advantage: a young, competitive roster and a solid coaching staff under Dan Campbell, something that could attract the player and facilitate a future renewal. In short, this story is still ongoing, but the mere fact that the Lions are in the conversation for a player of Quincy Williams' caliber shows how much the franchise has changed in recent years. From a rebuilding team to a potential destination for stars, the Detroit Lions are positioning themselves as one of the most aggressive and intelligent teams in the market. And if this trade happens, it could be the kind of move that puts the defense on par with the offense. And then, my friends, the entire NFC will need to be on high alert. And now I want to hear from you. Would you trade a draft pick for Quincy Williams? Do you think he's the right choice to elevate the Lions' defense? Leave your opinion in the comments because this debate promises to be a great one. Be sure to share the video with that friend who's always talking about the Lions. Until the next update.